Hey everybody, it's Corey from Thought Soldiers. So I wanted to have a little Ascension update on the energies that have been arriving for since the beginning of February, and now tonight being the start of the new moon. Um, Definitely things have been interesting for me lately. I'm also going to pull a few cards from my Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. It's a deck that I got a few weeks ago that I've been integrating into my daily practice, and I'm not going to pull anything right now. I love this deck because I had a Rider-Waite tarot deck, and it didn't really speak to me intuitively like the pictures on these do. And I just love the pictures on this deck and the illustrations. It really speaks to me and calls to me. And this is more of a kind of a self-discovery deck too. I will use it with friends to tell them kind of like recent energies and possibly things they need to look at within their lives. Especially the major arcana has some really cool things like abundance, choice, like that one, healing, things like that. That really helped for me to navigate this ascension process. Even though I really feel like divination tools sometimes can block us in our journey. Especially when we're trying to trust the universe and trust our intuition. I've had times where I've trusted a little too much on tarot and things of that nature and divination tools to navigate, and I feel like it can really can set us back. So anyway, this time recently for the past since February 1st, so it's only been 4 days now, it's been this really razor sharp focus on the things that no longer serve me in my life. And it's not so much environmental for me. A lot of it has to do with structure on a day-to-day basis. Definitely integrating more of my spiritual practice into my day. So as far as, more meditation, which I've been doing, and it's been getting better. But also things like really eating healthier now. Like, I'm noticing there are certain foods I eat that will just completely drain me of my life force. So it's about really, it feels like it's that contemplation stage of like, okay, here's the things that are not serving you anymore, or here are the things that are out of alignment. What are you going to do about it? And so I've been making lists, definitely in meditation, asking Spirit to show me what's draining me of my life force. Because it's been since the lunar eclipse in January, I've been in this very polarized up and down, up and down, up and down energy wave where I'm riding these like big highs and these really low lows, and very, not in the clinical definition of like mania and things like that, but definitely some dark nights of the soul kind of feeling. And not being able to get out of that rut, really feeling like I'm trudging. There's a time in my life where I was in a flow state, and it was just like, I was on point with everything I was doing. I was just cruising, and now it's really like the universe is telling me you need to slow down. You need to slow down, and you need to you need to tiptoe right now. And we have to realize that sometimes on this ascension journey, it's going to be very fast and accelerated for sometimes. There's other times that we just got to trudge and go very slow. And I know for me, when I'm running through things and I'm in a flow state and I'm happy and I'm kind of just running through life, I can definitely get about 10 steps ahead of myself and realize that there was a very important step I missed. And that's why it's tough with this slowdown right now. It feels like it's an accelerated ascension, like as far as stripping away things that no longer serve us, the realizations. Like it's fast, but it's physically very slow. So yeah, it's been just a lot of that focus now on what do we need to change. Like I mentioned, diet's been a huge one. Exercise routine too. I'm someone who walks 7 to 10 miles a day roughly, especially between work, taking public transportation, and just walking. But now it's really, I've been called more to do yoga. I started doing Kundalini yoga last night and Kundalini yoga this morning because I had some drainage of my root chakra as a result of I kind of felt a hole in my auric field being drained. So trying to do that to try to bring my creative energy back and that sense of stability. So maybe a lot of people, I've been hearing on a few videos, people are being called to certain diets now. Definitely treating themselves with better care and being more mindful of what we put into our bodies. And now it's like I still get those cravings. Like I'm like, oh, let's eat some junk food, but I eat it and like I definitely get the backlash immediately. The rest of my day, I'm drained. I feel like crap. And so it's now. It's kind of like, it feels like if we really want to have a smoother transition with this accelerated process of ascension and the amount of energies coming through, it's like you got to be in tip-top shape. Like it's, there was, for a very long time, there was this point where I could get away with certain things, like, not hydrating a lot, drinking lots of caffeine, smoking a crap ton of cigarettes, things like that, and I would be okay. But now it's like, no, if you want to be a top performing athlete in this arena of ascension, you got to treat your body like a top athlete. And it's hard. It's really hard. Definitely. Well, no, it's not. Let me take that back. It's not hard. It's just different. It's more of an adjustment now, and it's having to break those old patterns and those old routines to really bring into focus, having a lot easier of a time with handling these energies as they arrive. Lately been focused more on the numbers 2 and 4, and not in the 22 as much of like the master building thing, but there's been a lot of 222s and a lot of 2244, and that's been more of like the 2 realizing that balance needs to happen into our lives, and 4s being it's time to integrate that balance. So especially today being 2-4, being the new moon tonight, very interesting that these numbers have been popping through in the way that they have been. A lot of my masculine side is really coming to play now. It is definitely coming out, and it's that realization that this strong masculine side that comes out, which will show up in the forms of, for me, anger and frustration. Not so much like, I don't know how else to explain it, but definitely more of like I feel more in the masculine role when I'm walking around, which for a masculine who has had mostly feminine energies his entire life, let alone a straight masculine that's had feminine, traits his entire life, it feels weird with this side coming out in me because I feel a lot more harsh, sharp-tongued, definitely a lot more angry, but the realization is that this is balance. This feeling, it's not, I'm having to be careful with how I characterize it because it feels very dark and low, but maybe my highs have been so high lately that the fact that it's not super elevated doesn't mean it's this drastic polarization. It means it's just kind of seeking that balance. So now it's about, there's been this focus on, okay, these things aren't serving me anymore. For me, I did a little ceremony writing them out on pieces of paper to transmute into Gaia. And the rain here in San Diego has been very strange. The weather's been very odd. So I haven't been able to get out into the wilderness and to transmute this stuff or just put my feet in some grass and kind of connect with Gaia. Been very called to do that, wanting to go take a vacation, go up into the mountains or something and just go be in nature, which there, if you guys have that opportunity and you're going through this, go do it. I would gladly join you. But right now, it just doesn't permit right now in my life. Another kind of key thing that happened yesterday was about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we shifted into a whole nother timeline. And I had a talk with a friend today about it, and she actually just posted a video right now as I'm recording this. It said that it popped up, we have shifted into a new dimension. It happened yesterday. I was at work. It was about 1, maybe somewhere between noon and 2 Pacific Standard Time, because I'm out here in California, in San Diego. I was at work, and next thing I know, like, I don't really remember too much before the shift. Like, I know I went to work, but there was just this moment of kind of like just waking up and coming into clear view, and I was standing in front of a coffee maker, and I was like, oh shit, we just shifted timelines. Like, you're going to be dealing with this for the next few days, like that adjustment period after we do a quantum jump. And I've done some quantum jumping in my past, to higher timelines and into a higher version of myself. But this is the first time I've ever felt the leap, and I've been at work, still had a few hours to go, The rest of the day I was super clumsy. I was in la la land, just totally unaware, disconnected, definitely riding in the astral plane while staying in my body, just not focused at all. And so, yeah, if you guys felt that shift yesterday, let me know. Definitely, I'm curious to see what you guys felt, what time you felt it at. And it's funny because right after it happened, Asia Andromeda posted a video saying, we just shifted into a parallel reality. And I'm glad to know that I've heard from at least 2 other people now on this Ascension journey that are light workers or multidimensionals, that they're feeling it, or they felt this shift. Another thing too is I'm definitely, speaking of multidimensionals, I'm coming into my realization of my multidimensionality in this plane of existence. Definitely in my peripheral, noticing a lot more light and shadow beings. I don't know how to classify yet what is what. I just see these kind of white misty figures and these dark misty figures. Definitely been feeling a presence of Archangel Michael with me a lot more recently. I notice him too because I get these blue orb flashes going on in my vision, not just in my peripheral, but like directly in front of me. And when I'm in meditation, I feel his presence, and seeing that kind of dark to light blue kind of spots going around. I know he's with me or been around more. I've also been at nighttime and during the day, when I'm going through really kind of key realizations in my life and thinking certain thoughts too. I see gold flashes in my peripheral, and it's not so much that it's just a flash. It's like seeing. Can't believe what I'm going to say this. It's like seeing a gold UFO, and then right when I look at it, it just disappears. So we're definitely, people are observing right now. They're definitely watching, and they're making sure we're okay. It feels like, it doesn't feel like an ominous or a negative presence. It's just more the realization of like, whoa, this stuff is real. So I want to know if you guys have been feeling that at all, or been noticing those things in your peripheral, or been noticing beings watching you, or having craft arrive. If anyone's had any visitations, I definitely would love to hear about it. I've definitely had visitations, but I haven't talked to anyone or anything face to face that I'm aware of. I've just been seeing the gold and silver kind of orbs in the sky, but it's not so much like an energy flash like the blue I see with Archangel Michael. It feels like, or it looks like it's a solid thing, and right when I look at it, it just disappears. So I want to know if anyone else has gone through that, because I sometimes feel like I'm losing my mind when I see this stuff. What else did I want to talk about? Yesterday we jumped. Multidimensionality. Yeah, it feels like also too, it's, I feel like all of this is in preparation to really join our tribe and to become better of service to the our divine purpose here on Earth and our mission. And that's why I've been kind of a hermit lately, and I'm okay with it, is because I know it's not permanent, and I know that these dark nights and these realizations and this level of healing, true, like really deep healing, it takes a while, and I know that it's not forever, so I'm giving myself that okay to be slow and to not be a perfect human being right now, even though we're perfect just the way we are. When I say perfection or being a perfect human being, I'm talking about from an old programming sense of, being super spiritual, or whatever programming we believe is quote unquote perfect in the negative sense when it comes to societal views. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to pull a few cards now. I did this video just a little bit ago, and I pulled a few cards, and then the video cut off because I ran out of time. So doing this all over again. But the cards I pulled were definitely significant to what's going on. So 9 of Earth and 5 of Water, and this card was pulled last time too. Okay, so guys, I'm still trying to learn this deck a little bit, so I am going to read from the book that it comes with. So the first card is the 9 of Earth. And no, I'm not any pro when it comes to tarot or tarot, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, I wanted to start implementing it a little bit because I really love this deck. So the 9 of Earth. Definitely 9 being a completion. Definitely a completion stage. So let's see. Altruism, generosity, charity, giving, receiving, selflessness, benevolence, humility, and self-love. How important are your material possessions? Support a worthy charitable cause. Give away all that is no longer needed. Give without bias or expectation. Heal self by helping others. Skeletons in the closet? Charity begins with you. Address any health concerns. So the health concern thing is a big one for me. I don't have any health concerns, but definitely having to take better care of myself. And the charity makes sense, especially with what she's offering right here. She's definitely giving away something, especially with this earth energy. And so this has been a key thing too, is I felt kind of cluttered in my material life. And so I really need to go through and throw things away, especially since this is kind of, I'm trying to usher in some new stuff. Definitely an interesting card. I don't know if this one is so much speaking to the collective or it's just speaking to me personally. So hopefully it resonates with some people. Next card is 5 of Water. 5 of Water. I really love the illustrations of this deck. And so, let's see here. 5 of Water. With a 5, I definitely take it as some changes are coming about, and to accept these changes into our life because it's for our highest divine purpose. But it's saying loss, betrayal, fear, doubt, hopelessness, isolation, self-pity, blame. Isolation, interesting. Feeling alone and isolated, without hope, consumed by fears and doubts, unable to see a way forward, trapped in the moment, feeling angry and betrayed, mourn your loss, playing the victim. Okay, this is a personal reading now, I have a feeling. I hope it resonates with some people, but Spirit's talking to me personally, and it's calling me on my stuff in this video right in front of you. 5 of Water represents feelings of fear, doubt, and hopelessness that can cloud our minds and hearts and give rise to confusion, misunderstanding, and anger. These emotions are often born of our own pain or insecurities and can cloud our ability to see the love that surrounds us. So that's very true. Been in very kind of a lot of self-doubt, a lot of not trusting of what's going on, especially when I can't really get a foothold in any sort of stability when it comes to emotional or spiritual well-being right now. But that's a huge component, is the physical factor, and it's what we put into our bodies and what we do on a day-to-day basis that really contributes to the whole. So that's why I feel like these changes are occurring as far as the realizations of how we need to treat our physical presence, because one thing in the physical body affects the soul and affects the mind. One thing in the soul aspect affects the mind and body, and they all work hand in hand. And so if I want to fix my emotional and my spiritual well-being, I have to involve the physical within that, and that includes what I put in me, and exercising and things like yoga, and definitely being of service more, and stepping out of this isolation I've been in a hermit phase, and it's not good. And then for me, that loss and betrayal, the loss is the friend that passed away. Definitely been feeling that. So now I feel like it's possibly a time to really step into charity. So, if anyone else is going through this, evidently Spirit's telling us to step into service. So maybe some volunteer work would be really good. Things like that, giving back, because that will definitely bring a new level of gratitude. And I feel like when I give back, the universe does provide and comes back tenfold. And the last card, this was the last card that popped up in the last video. Healing. That says everything. Don't need to go into more detail, but it's time for us to heal. It's time for us to take care of ourselves, to really treat ourselves well in preparation for what is to come. And just be aware that the universe has our back. Even when it feels like it doesn't, it always, always does. And I wanted to pull one more card to see if this card popped up. This is the card that popped up last time. And it's that battle card. It's the 6 of Fire. It's that battle of dark and light, and having to come to a resolution. having to seek a balance within us, and having to work this out, reconcile. If it's with someone else or it's within ourselves, we have to find this balance and come into harmony and put our differences aside and come together as a whole. So this could be collective, it could be personal. For me, this is a little bit of both, but it's definitely time to find that balance and to realize that in this reality, the darkness could not survive without the light, and the light could not survive without the darkness. So, yeah, 6 of fire, I'm saying it right there. But this is the biggest point. Healing. It's time for us to heal. It's time for us to take care of ourselves and to love ourselves and to really treat ourselves with 100% respect and dignity, and to know that, it's time, because this is all in preparation for a lot larger cause than I think any of us could ever be aware of at this point in time. Some of you maybe, because you get prophecies and you're clairvoyant, but the magnitude of it, some of us may not realize at this point in time. So anyways, that's all I got, guys. Much love and respect sent to you. Just wanted to talk about the recent energies and do a little tarot pull, throw that on the channel, and start to integrate that into these videos. So if you haven't, click subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. If you want to shoot me an email, you can. CoreyMacLite, LITE, 33@gmail.com. Anyways, much love and respect to everybody out there. And I will see you on the other side. Namaste, people.